Alright guys, let's talk about some Pokemon Wind and Wave stuff. Game Freak's last hope. Why do I say this? Because they are getting peeled away left and right. You got Palworld out there, you got Animo out there, which is probably going to do fantastic. You never know. So Game Freak's last ditch effort. They got the year 3-0. We got it coming in a few weeks, and we got these leaks. Lots of people have already been talking about it, so I'm not going to go into detail about it. What I want to do is take a look at what we have and compile them together to see if we can make a prediction as to how Game Freak is actually going to do, how it's going to perform as the new generation Pokemon game. I've seen such things such as you can explore underwater in a unique way. You start off in a hotel with like an MMO style. There's like another mechanic that allows you to pet your Pokemons. There's harsh environments. There's this new type of Pokemon called the Seed Pokemon. What is that? You carry around like a little baby and it grows up on your journey and gets different color variations. Maybe something like a Togepi, who knows? There's the Pikachu redesign as well. I believe some other Pokemons got redesigned, but I saw the pictures of Pikachu. Look at this Pikachu. What is going on? I like the old style Pikachu. Pikachu in the original looked so much better. It was chubby. It was cute. It was not like a rodent. The Pikachu now, it just they just keep making it skinnier and skinnier. And one day it's going to look like a literal rat. I think that is Game Freak's long end game here. Every year they just make Pikachu skinnier and skinnier, and then one day we're never gonna see Pikachu ever again because he's just getting too skinny. He's just a malnourished mouse about to die. But anyways, taking a look at some of the environments here, we have one picture that depicts a desert-like environment, and of course these are all in the beta stages. I believe these are pictures from 2024, so they're not the best, but it still gives us a glimpse as to what is going on. So we have a few different environments. We have another meadows looking environment. We have the town. The town actually looks big. I don't know if this is just a picture of maybe what it's supposed to be is a cinematic view of the city. Who knows if the city's actually going to be this big. Then we have what looks like a more Arctic kind of environment. Then we have the underground one. Then we have what looks like peering out of a cave. And then we also have this blurred out section. This might be outside of that cave we've seen. And then we have some more views that are quite interesting. But that's what we got. And then we have some other ones. If you go on Twitter, you can find many more. There's some users that have details of the actual map of the entire islands or archipelagos. And you can go down that rabbit hole to find out as many spoilers as you want. But that is kind of irrelevant. What I want to take a look at is Pikachu in particular. So Pikachu got a new redesign, and it also got to show us what the new battle mechanic is. So there's something called Immersion. We don't actually know what it is, but there is a video that shows us what it looks like. So look at that. We have this level 30 Pikachu. It seems to be morphing and getting disfigured. Some kind of power-up move. Game Freak is trying to be innovative in some degree, so they're trying to give us something to look forward to. So I want to actually talk about this. So all of this information that we have gets me thinking that they're trying to take a playbook out of Palworld, because of course Palworld was very successful, and what they did was they created a creature capturing game that featured the player being able to explore different kinds of environments and run around and really feel like they're on an adventure. And that's the kind of immersion that Pokemon has just been missing out on. Because in the beginning, Pokemon was a handheld game. We had the Game Boy and it was very simple. But when you're playing that game, you're very immersed because you're actually experiencing it through the limitations of the console. And now that we're getting more powerful consoles, we have something that should be able to run a AAA game. When that game is not able to perform to the best of the ability of the console itself, it feels like you're being cheated on. So you're not actually able to thoroughly enjoy the game. I'm looking at you, Pokemon Legends ZA, and your PlayStation 2 type rendering. What is going on with that game? So that's the reason why Palworld was so successful. And then we have Animo, which is another kind of creature capturing game, which could peel off more of Game Freak's precious fans. So looks like they're trying to put a stop to that with the 30th year anniversary. Great marketing on their side. And with these different types of environments and just the showcase of what is going on so far as what they're going to do with these islands and the new mechanics and the ability to explore different kinds of environments, it really gets you feeling that there's going to be that immersion again, that thing that we've been missing. When you're playing Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, you're trekking up Mount Coronet and then you get to that winter part and you're like, man, I feel like I'm just exploring a new aspect of Pokemon. There's snow here. What is going on? So that's the type of fun that you really need in a Pokemon game to make it really feel fun, because you want to be on a Pokemon adventure. That is what you want to feel when you're playing the game. You don't want to feel like you're just mindlessly running around. You're like, oh, let me just catch this Pokemon. Let me catch that Pokemon. Let me go shiny hunting. That is just not the full experience that everyone's looking for. And that's what makes Pokemon Pokemon. So when you have a 2026 audience, they're looking for something that is held to a certain standard. Actually, no, that's so not true. Pokemon fans just do not give a crap. Pokemon ZA got so many people just brainwashed, honestly, just like completely ignoring all the slop that was in that game. So people will buy anything, but if you want to appeal to the masses, get the most people possible, you got to make that game AAA quality and give it that full immersion that people are looking for. Otherwise, more and more people will completely break away. But that's not enough to truly capture people's audience. I think Game Freak understands that, which is why they're trying to incorporate so many different types of elements into their game. But the one true element that will make it peerless in this creature capturing genre is how the game will ultimately be played. Because let's face it, if we're gonna have a game like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, what is up with the rival? He's way too nice, and everyone in that game is so weak. You can just bully your way through the entire game and you can just play without even having any regards to anything, because that game was way too easy. How much did that game even cost? There's no okay, let's see, $60 for this garbage? I cannot believe that. That is insane. Anyways, yeah, so you do not want to pay full price for a game like that. You don't want the game to be too easy. Okay, there is a difference between being able to coast through the game and just having the game be ridiculously easy where you have no challenges at all. It doesn't make you think in any way, shape, or form. That difficulty curve is what will really entice people. Not everyone wants to play a extremely challenging game, but either make the game hard enough where you actually have to think and you have to strategize in how to win, or give people the option to be able to choose their difficulty. Gen 5 was the last game, or the only game I should say, that had a difficulty curve. I think it was either Black and White or Black and White 2 that had the option to play a hard mode after you beat the full game. You don't have to go that far. You just gotta give us a difficulty mode in the beginning of the game. But knowing Game Freak, they don't really like to do that. They like to pander to little kids. So they're not going to give the adults who grew up with the game any opportunity to actually have fun. But please, come on, just give us Battle Tower. Give us what we want. But I digress. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. If you made it this far into the video, please leave a like, a comment, and feel free to subscribe for more content like this, and I will catch you guys next time.